This moment, playing for the pride of your nation. One game left. Plane path over Lippo, ending around military base. We're set. Path over Lippo, ending around military base. We're set for spicy. It has been neck and neck, a battle of two different styles. Korea playing for circles and circle control, and Brazil playing with violence and gusto, just trying to go with guns and glory. But now finally Korea's come alive, getting high kill counts, finally breaking that 20 points on a victory. Can we see them take it to the tail end, or can the guys in the lead continue to hold it?
Yeah, what a weekend to do it. It's been a scorcher around the world here, with the World Cup looming, with PNC 2026 here as well, and the degrees are rising here throughout the world. We have got ourselves another hot game to figure out who is going to be able to take it. Brazil is dropping all sorts of shades of shelter here for this one to avoid what is going on. Where is South Korea? West side of Military Island at the moment, looking to maybe get transitions, but with a playing path like this, Mark Trim, you can't help but feel that it's going to be another annoying circle for these teams to play out.
Korea has gone for military base. They are going to make a jump tail end on it. They're going to be over into the west, waiting to see where that circle pops. You can see that they're a little bit slow on drop, maybe have to make a push a different direction. Brazil's got home kind of territory that they're going to be playing north of. Milta positioning, circle goes. Give it to us, and oh, it's Brazil in the circle to start. And now Korea's on the chase.
This is one of the kind of circles that could have possibly been, right? We have had so much water in all of our Erangel circles. This one will be down the middle, unless for some reason we get all those north shifts and then the river becomes an extreme focus point. But I don't think that's going to be the case here. Now, as Argentina on the hunt for a member of Denmark, Ket has found himself in a bit of a rough spot here, considering the drops, as they were normally going towards Ferry Pier. But Argentina, because of the plane path, has challenged them for this, and Keter is down.
Oh, of all of the teams, Argentina finding out Denmark. These guys have been going kind of neck and neck at each other, so that does put now Argentina over neutral. Talk a lot about what's going on with Brazil and Korea, now just 6 points separated, but we still have a tie between now China and Argentina. Neutral just 1 point back behind that because there is so much brewing. Of course, let's take a quick look at the last game.
Yeah, for Vietnam, obviously taking the win here from this one. It's a kind of a home circle that they end up getting themselves, considering the compounds that they're able to take. So not much to break down from a Vietnam win. It's just a bit of a shame that they didn't really hit the ground running, similar to the way they did in PNC 2025, right?
Yeah, this is just such a big game for Korea to come in at this point, but I do agree with everything you're talking about with Vietnam. This is... you're looking at Tanvu, you're looking at Imas. These are guys that you know can just frag out and get like 10 kill games themselves. And the fact that it's been a bit of a struggle for them to find successes in firefights is just baffling to my brain.
Yeah, not easy at all. And with big names that you got to take down at the end as well, not easy for the likes of Thailand. South Korea constantly making a good run of it here to try and keep themselves in the running. It's a tale as old as time now here in PUBG, right? We get our PNCs in Korea. Guess what? South Korea is always there, knocking on the door to become a champion.
Waiting for this to finish out. Go ahead and give you guys an update on how the rotations are going. We end up with a pretty central circle onto the main island itself. Brazil's already pretty much centered up on that. And we do also have Korea making a wrap into the circle. So it's all just going to be about positioning coming out in kind of eyes onto the later circles. So you're not missing too much just yet. It's just the jockeying for position.
An early emergency pickup for Turkey is currently going on as well whilst we watch all of this out. But yeah,
why is this so long? This is like their longest one that we've seen so far.
It's the final game.
I know. It's like I need to see where people are going. Okay, Korea's managed to get in the circle. They got really, really close to Argentina, but nothing has happened, and they're making a run for kind of that run for that ruined boatyard area.
Yeah, this is actually quite important because this is a really early move for them to come in the west side, right? And there's a world where they could end up in conflicts much earlier. All right, okay, well, you know what? More highlights.
Yay. Okay, so again, big game for Korea finding those kills. They were talking about the fact that they wanted to aim for 20 points. Got so close in the last game. What was it? Second place, so 6 points. Walking away 17 points. Very big game for them, as a lot of their games have kind of not had the highest kill count. So not even getting the victory on that gives them one of their better overall point totals. But what I've got eyes on now is Korea. Finally coming alive, finally really getting a big kill game for themselves means the fact that this could be the propulsion. I think it was Gibson that was talking about the fact that momentum is definitely on the side of Korea right now.
Yeah, Boatyard's not a bad spot to have as a checkpoint here to get things rolling. The only problem is again, there's some big names ahead of you on the east side. As Philippines and Finland going to fight each other on the eastern, towards the eastern bridge location and see what they can get done. Just flying through the air. Sata Ali takes a few shots, 95 damage done, but here comes the reinforcement. Scav will take him out. There's still quite a bit of money to be won down towards the bottom here. So Scav and the boys from Team Finland looking to shut down the Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be on the eastern layout of the bridge. Thailand's going to be on the other side of it, so whoever manages to win this firefight still has to deal with another problem in front of them. Vietnam's going to have the western bridge to make their rotate. Looks like Finland doesn't really want to stay in this one for too much longer, but just Algin's position has made it too complicated. They know that they need to finish this out. Good little juke around. Algin makes a play. They does come back, get the knock on to him.
Yeah, get that finish up. All right, whilst this is kind of gonna just wait here as Philippines is trying to get out of dodge. I think there's an interesting thing to be said about Korea's position for where they've taken on Boatyard, right? I think they're gambling on the idea of just in case this goes north, we have the bridge next to Boatyard to be able to go up there completely unimpeded, right? I think it's a rare chance we will be going north, but I think they're kind of crossing their T's, dotting all their I's, hedging their bets on in case something goes down. So that's why they're here super early.
Get an idea on where the positioning is coming out from Korea that we've been talking about. China is going to be pretty centered up as well. Brazil is going for more of the field lay. A couple of rotation capabilities for them, but Brazil also in a very wide 2-2 split. Feels like they're playing for safety right now, and that might come back to bite them. If we end up with a cluster of teams just stacked on top of them, like, I don't know, Ukraine due south, Great Britain that's on the hunt for points, USA, Indonesia, and China all right next to as well as neutral, those 2-2 splits are extremely punishable.
Yeah, especially in a lobby like this where we've seen some dashes on through. Korea now going to take the north side of Rozhok as well. This kind of affords them a similar boon to I was explaining of having that bridge available to them over towards Boatyard, right? You've still got this bridge just north of Rozhok that you could use to your advantage as well if for some reason the circle doesn't quite favor that south side. There's Argentina just driving alongside ruins as well, coming in underneath where the Koreans have just left.
We definitely need to mention that no matter how this goes down, Argentina and Brazil should be incredibly proud of the performance they came into with this whole
100%.
event. It's been a massive glow up for both of these teams.
Yep, no doubt. I didn't come in thinking to myself that these two teams were going to be challenging for number one, but here they are, looking great for it. I think it really is very clear that they've worked hard on their synergy alongside their, in inverted commas, new teammates to be able to kind of play this out against some of the very best in the world. China is one of them, lurking on the east side of Rozhok alongside Korea. If China was able to shut down Korea and get a big game, there's a world where they could quite easily, like, all they've got to do is get a 16 kill win, which is not out of the realms of possibility. We've seen it before in this tournament, right? And then China's suddenly challenging if Korea and Brazil go down early.
There is a world where Brazil and Korea both could falter, depending on how this circle goes. And China still has opportunities in front of them.
There we go.
Give it to us. Ooh, yes, Naya right along the lake. So Korea in their rotate you're talking about could have an opportunity for them. Brazil's just going to be down to the south, right in the middle of the death tunnel, with Great Britain, Ukraine, as well as Denmark, Thailand, all going to be rolling up right on top of them. So
exactly what I was saying about Korea, they've taken that bridge straight away, I think. They're going north. They are going to be moving up there here to try and make this work from the north side. Germany might get caught off a little bit by it, but Brazil, meanwhile, has decided to move on the south side of this circle. The problem is there's still the river. There's still Yasnaya Pond in something like this. It's such a hard circle to make a decision on.
It's a smart play if the water settings hadn't changed, because it would probably pop over into this area, but now you've kind of put yourself into a gamble for circle where Korea is also kind of doing the same. They're mirroring it on the other side of it over into the northwest. Neutral is kind of digging themselves in while Indonesia is on the hunt. You should be able to roll these grenades down the hillside. Neutral knows it, not feeling too good about the positioning for him now, so trying to step away from it. It looks like they still have safety trees doing enough to provide something.
If I had to hedge my bets as those two teams, Korea and Brazil, as Korea, you're going north because you expect there to be a lot less teams up there, therefore a lot less threats based on how it's shifted. Nades go forwards though against neutral here, against Indonesia, as Indo, I think they don't really want too much of this fight right now. They're kind of backing off. That nade was almost just a warding off nade here so they can go over towards one of the compounds.
And it's a strong compound for the circle. I mean, it is pretty centered. Neutral also having that hillside is going to feel pretty strong. With Indonesia kind of giving that one up, means that it's going to be a nice capability for using the hillside, specifically the higher points on it for Team Neutral, who have presently been playing the lower sections of it. Brazil is going to commit more into this 2-2 split of safety. Denmark's going to be just to the south. Ukraine going to be on the other side of the hills from them. So it's just probably Great Britain that could be an issue. And I'm kind of looking up, and it looks like Argentina is creeping up closer and closer to Korea.
I do like these check-ins on how these top 4 teams have been able to rotate so far. And you're right, with Argentina lurking below Korea, all it would take was one knock, and then maybe Argentina would start to spring a bit of a trap there against Korea. Evan driving around. There were some longer range shots coming in from Rozok against them, but Korea's got so much terrain cover here that they shouldn't be too concerned about that just yet. Oh, okay.
Extra cover, you know, it's to catch the nades. So whenever they roll down there, because you know that can seat, what, 8 people? Totally useful in PUBG.
You know, actually, if you dig and then have an inflatable boat above it, it's the most crazy cover you've ever seen in your life. It actually protects you from nades. But yeah, I don't know if they think... Well, actually, I mean, on a spot like that, it's dead center of this circle. It might actually be their kind of thinking. We've seen it before.
I mean, why not? If you have it and just throw it down, find some use for everything. I mean,
it does work.
We know that Batulans and the rest of the crew will use everything they got. Circle's going to stay centered, so while we've been getting a lot of wild stuff, this one's staying kind of regimented and true. Just center up and to center up. Neutral's going to love that. Germany's going to probably regroup from their split that they've got. Brazil does have one of their splits that are going to be inside the circle, as well as Korea up into the northwest, having a couple of players already in play. But it doesn't feel too good, so they're going to shift down to this other spot.
Yeah, Korea backfills into that compound. Argentina trying to catch out Spaceman here. What a play! What an interception coming in. Argentina might just go very aggressive on this one and see what they can get done, but that is an important little kill that they're able to get there. Korea's moved into the compound where they actually died off early on in one of these games, but there's not too many threats going their way. I'm scared, Matrim, that if this circle centers up on water, it's... what a game this could be.
It feels like Korea's thinking that might happen. Argentina comes in. They feel like they've got Destiny under control, playing heavy, and Germany is the one that punishes it. How do these two squads just keep bumping into each other over and over again?
Yeah, I don't know. It's been like 4 or 5 fights that these teams have had across 15 games alone. And Argentina, they keep getting rinsed in a lot of them as well. Germany somehow winning things out, despite them being kind of mid-tables at the moment. Now, it's Chris in the smoke, trying to find a little bit of more of a push forwards. Can throw a nade forwards, takes down Capitan. And so in that Harry Potter, they're kind of donezo. That is brutal there for Argentina.
Germany can't stay there any longer. USA, they saw them in the move on one side of it. They're going to be caught up with what's going on with Indonesia, who's run into their form of a split. We also do have Thailand and Turkey kind of bouncing off of each other around the lake up into the north, but it's going to be Celtic going down, and Setsuna just kind of holding back in the hallway, waiting for somebody to walk down this. Again, probably the most brutal push you can make in PUBG, specifically on Erangel, to say the least, is pushing that hallway.
I'm so concerned for Korea, the gamble that they've tried to go for. Argentina's gone, and that is them down. That's podium open here for China, as well as neutral, as maybe Denmark as well can maybe take charge for it. But Korea was gambling so hard on this kind of higher circle. They're even having people swim across the river now, or Korea, as they're in the pursuit of this championship.
But China has so much territory to work with down to the southwest. Everybody has gone for the play into the fields around Yasnaya, and China has got, I guess almost 1.5 kilometers of territory that nobody's really playing around. Ukraine going to go ahead and put some work onto Indonesia, as well as that is going to be the United States going to go ahead and get that last little talk onto Setsuna, and Indonesia is eliminated in last place.
Yeah, circle's going to be shifting soon. Tian is looking for a bit of a res here as quickly as possible to get China's full-man 4 squad back up, good to go. You can see here as Guman already swam on over to try and make something work, knowing that they need a little bit of an anchor point on the other side of this bridge. Otherwise, if they were to get all caught at the same time, by, say, Germany, for example, that would be dicey. But shots coming in from Code Marco against them here. Guman's got to be very careful. If they lose him, there's no res potential.
But I'm worried about Finland pushing down onto Brazil down in the south. That's forced them to go back to the Great Britain line.
True.
Circle has now popped. Turkey having to make something happen for themselves. Is this wall now no longer going to be in play? Here we go. This is what I wanted. Brazil, BL, you can see kind of caught out. Finland, though, doesn't look like they've got to focus into going after the solo player from Brazil. He's trying to just make it down and regroup, but Great Britain now just trying to move into a gatekeeping position. This now means 3 squads, all of them European, on the outside of this, watching Brazil right on the edge of the zone.
Yeah, Finland, I think they were trying to cordon off any teams going around, and technically they can move just a little bit north onto Volcano location, so that should be okay for them. Knowing, though, there is somebody down in this compound, it's not ideal at all, this compound. You really lose a lot of vehicles down here if people are looking down on this spot. You'll be able to survive here, but you're not getting many kills off of it. And I think Sparking and the boys realize this. I think they realize it's go time to find a spot towards some of these fields, maybe a crater or two, but this is dangerous. This is very dangerous.
This is first place on the line in a rotate. They've got to go. Tony's gone down. That's a big problem. Tony's done so much work for this squad. Lots of damage. Another one goes down. BL, it's just 2. Brazil sends it into the center of the circle and narrowly survives.
They've got a little bit of a car fort, some smokes as well here to try and deny some of those lines of sight. One of the cars is gone now, though, as well. To Kraken and Sparking. No kills go their way. Thailand's going to move on the Germany position up against this field. Try and take down its Chris. They do in kind. And also Justice has gone over in this other position. So now Germany's going to tuck tail and leave. Thailand doing a lot of damage to them as they do move forwards. But the tail of the tape is Brazil is wounded. This is an opportunity now for Korea to strike.
Vietnam is trying to push into USA. Looks like they might take a casualty off of it. Actually, no, Hamas just jumps out. He should be fine. That's going to be a foothold position, so the rest of Vietnam could come after that. I was worried USA might discourage that approach and force them more down into Brazil position. Korea also regrouping up to the north, right next to where we just saw Thailand make that push. Remember, they're crossing that bridge, and so they're going to end up with Thailand potentially having crosshairs on them in just a few, as China still has tons of space to work from. It's pretty much clear from them all the way over to neutral.
Spaceman back in for China, trying to dive back down to the rest of the team. Difficult stuff indeed, though. Here comes Korea now, slowly slithering their way in on this western side. And Turkey, well, they're not slithering. They're going for a swim. That was anything but slow.
Just got to send it sometimes. They know Korea's playing the other side, and it's going to be China down here. China doesn't like this, though. They see somebody that's just bold enough to dive into the water. It's like, these guys don't care. We got stuff to play for. Let's send it the other side. They're going to wrap around. That puts them in Denmark's sight line. But that little bit of a ridge should provide enough. And the way that this is kind of positioned up, now Turkey has to go for a position closer to neutral. And that opens up a lot more for China, as Turkey's kind of defending their back now as the circle pops. Korea's narrowly in it, Brazil as well. But there's going to be a cluster of squads down to the south that has to move in.
Both top teams in. I'm a little bit concerned for Korea, though, unless they can win out some straight 4v4 firefights, right? Like Thailand lurking over the way from them. I don't think they'll end up engaging them. I think they'll stay on that west side, but there's still Turkey looking that way, and then maybe eventually neutral might be a bit of a gatekeeper for them if Korea goes down the path I'm expecting. So there's definitely a problem that still lies in the way of Korea here to try and knock Brazil off their perch.
Slowing back down the pacings, you can see long-range shots coming up from Korea just to keep some control, see if they can get a knock or a kill onto Turkey, who's outside of everything. Philippines going to go ahead and get eliminated there. Not too much else that they could do from that position. More and more squads are starting to falter, but with Argentina, everybody else has been down to the bottom. So Real is still having opportunities for China and neutral continue their climb. Denmark wants to try to catch up to neutral as well, but Korea and Brazil continue to be the focuses. Oh my God. Korea has themselves a setup and a mortar. Where are they focusing it to? Turkey.
Going the way of Turkey. I understand it, right? I think that they want to play the west side of this circle because it's covered against a lot of the other teams here. Now Great Britain moving in against Brazil. Sparking gets fed himself a little bit of a point here, but Vard runs him over. They are gone. They are gone unless they get maybe one confirm off of that. 124 will be that benchmark. Can Korea get themselves at least 6 points?
They know it. They saw it inside the kill feed. They have to be careful. Thailand's on the other side. Denmark taking some casualties. Tian managed to find one, but he goes down. Nades coming out counter on the side of it. Just 2 up for China, and they've got Denmark in front of them, and they still have to get into the circle after that. Ukraine starting to take a couple of shots into Finland. That's going to be Ukraine completely eliminating them. United Kingdom now goes down as well. Vietnam, USA stacked up next to each other. Everybody's starting to fall, but we haven't managed to make the placements yet, and that's what Korea wants.
I think this entry point is really good for Korea. I think they know why they're slow rolling it, right? Like, they can exist on this west side of this circle for quite a while. And yeah, exactly as you're saying, I think that this is exactly what they want, just to be able to slow roll it and see if any kills come their way. But that's going to be the Korea playbook for this game.
They just roll right into Xiao Wu's face. They're going to get the knockoff to him as well. Sheila comes up big. China just, what? That is crazy push. The spaceman's all the way across the circle.
Yep, not easy. Had to get him up from the res. Now Denmark here is going to be a bit of a roadblock for Turkey. As Fairist also doing damage against Denmark here. Trying to do okay, Belmoth knocks Songjang. That's important. What's actually going on there? Thailand is watching as Korea is trying to edge along that western side that I was mentioning before. But with so many potential threats there, Neutral also doing damage to Denmark. I think that technically some of those western threats are all killing off themselves.
Yeah, we can see that Neutral's focused in on the defense from Denmark to the south. That's opened Korea to wrap around to the north. The new circle has popped. Korea is not in it. It's focused in on USA, Vietnam, as well as Ukraine. Ukraine quickly usurps the compound positions. Very defended. Now Neutral has to figure out what they're going to be doing with it. Korea has to start popping off. They do not have the circle anymore. They have Thailand in front of them on one side and Neutral on the other.
It's looking more and more likely that it's time for a new champion here at PNC. Levante for Neutral shuts down Denmark. They fall. There's a few teams that could potentially leapfrog their position here, but now we're on board with Gumin, knowing that this west side is still extremely important. Can Neutral shut down Korea? If they defend against Korea here on this side, there's a world where Neutral could have a big game and maybe leapfrog that second place, but you've got to beat Korea. And Heather starts off with the big nade against Petulins.
It's been playing for position, but now it is just time to firefight. Korea running forward. Does have Petulins down. Neutral trying to figure out how they can retaliate. Thailand's using the opportunity to just crest along the sides, mirroring this, using the ridgeline and the road for cover. But Korea has to just bully their way up this hillside. They have to remove Neutral, who is firmly entrenched.
Thailand's charging nades. Thailand's charging nades as well off on the left-hand side of this camera. You can't see it maybe coming in, but this could be devastating. Also, nades coming in from Neutral as well, trying to shut down Korea. Is it time for a new champion here at PNC? It looks like a little bit of a back-off from Thailand on this fight. They're not peeking over. They're not cresting the hill to shut down Korea, so it's still just Korea versus Neutral.
Well, Neutral hasn't been able to get in the circle either. Sheila's creeping up from back behind. Lu does get the knock onto Songjang, but Heather finally gets the flush out onto Petulins. Neutral still with 3 up. Korea's got nowhere to go. You can see that they're trying to run away. They're going to get another knock. Just 1 up on the other side. Korea on the hunt, trying to find somewhere to go. But let's not forget Thailand still on the other side. Neutral, do you go on the hunt or do you go for the circle?
I think if you hunt them, it's the only way you can get more money on the board. This is difficult here now for Korea. Almost impossible. You saw the almost desperation nade going into that shack to see if they could scramble any more points available here. But here comes Scappy as Heaven goes down.
Just 1 up. Neutral decided to go for the hunt on defense. Nade's gonna roll in. Korea is eliminated. They did not get the points to catch up to Brazil. How much more can Neutral get?
Korea down, brutal scenes here. They will not be 3 times champion Levante. Why are you suddenly going crazy here in this game? Technically, 10 points is all that stands between.
Trying to climb, trying to find some more out of this right now. Neutral has to find something to work from. Their disadvantaged positions. You can see smokes going down in front of them. So hard to navigate as the focus now from Thailand has shifted back over. Can Brazil and all the work that they put in be enough? Can Neutral creep up, usurp the position that Korea's got right now? Just 10 points, and there's still a lot on the table. Ukraine comes alive, starting to take the shots onto Thailand. USA now also starting to shift a little bit of their focus onto Thailand's positioning.
Yeah, I think if Neutral actually wants to take a second place here, they need some help for the rest of the lobby. I think that Thailand technically is the first port of call, but at the same time, Ukraine is focusing their attention on them. Neutral's down. That's a 3rd place at the moment. There's no way, Spaceman. I think he has nothing. I don't think that he's going to be able to leapfrog here after coming in from that res. So that might just be the podium completely finished here, but the fight for the mid pack is still raging on. Yeah, he's got 0 here. There's no way he gets 6 more points at least.
Yeah, I mean, unless he can run up and punch a couple of people that have been knocked. Ukraine to the south, taking control over everything, but you can see it is Thailand, 90 points, USA 88, Ukraine 85, Vietnam 80. A lot to still be fought for right now as 11th through 7th fighting to see how much higher they can go because Argentina at 101 and Denmark at 94 are catchable.
Yeah, some of these teams in the mid-pack could jump up quite nicely for more money. Brazil knows they've done it, I think. Look at that. Look at the elation and the absolute satisfaction of what we just witnessed here from the coach. But now Thailand, oh no, they're clown carring it, Matrim.
They just got to send it and go. Vietnam, USA have been holding the compounds around just close enough. They didn't have to go too far. Spaceman's taking some blue zone damage, just trying to creep his way forward. So a lot of this coming down to the focal point that compounds that USA is playing from. It just seems like the circle keeps pulling that way. Ukraine doesn't have as much to work with because if they keep pushing on that higher ridge, it is very punishable.
Yeah, Ukraine, 11 kills. Like, technically, Thailand, USA, Ukraine could all actually jump up really nicely here if they're able to convert on a win. And for Ukraine, I think they realized that, yeah, okay, we're only 3 alive, but a lot of the fights on that northern side are going to have to pop off one after another against each other, not so much Ukraine, who still has a decent stranglehold on this south position.
And USA and Vietnam have just been chilling next to each other for so long.
Yeah.
Thailand now just starting to join that party as Spaceman keeping the crawl going, but you got Tanvu right next to you. Look, if somebody knocks Tanvu and flushes him out, maybe he can get something to work with. That's the only dream he's got.
A little bit of a push-up from Ukraine once again into the smokes, laid down very well here. Hakatori with 6, Fairist with 4. Fairist has been fantastic for Ukraine throughout the survival stage into this final as well. Now that circle favors a little bit of Ukraine's position as well as the compound here from USA, who only 2 kills on the board here for USA, but definitely there's still quite a bit more to play for.
They've definitely been chilling in the center of the donut where all the fighting has been going on around them. Smoke's now starting to come down to see how much we can get movement onto this one. This is going to be Thailand to try to smoke this off as much as possible. So they're going to have a bit of an angle of approach. They're nervous about Ukraine, and you should be, given the way that Ukraine has been popping off. So you can at least get right up into the face of USA, but that does put them in a vulnerable position from Vietnam. A couple of shots come out from Imas. Does get the knock on to Belmont.
Yeah, save of that spray. You got to hit the first one, but he was able to save it with just a little bit more. Nice nade there. Belmoth goes down. Vietnam, you're not winning this one in terms of the tournament overall. There will be a new PNC champion, but Vietnam's not done just yet. Gives Himas a little bit of room here to make some magic happen, maybe.
It's one squad wipe for Vietnam, and they're tied up with Ukraine. This is just so back and forth between all of it as Spaceman continues to just watch all of the action go on in front of him. It's like, Himas, don't worry. Shoot at those guys in front of you. Thailand's so much tastier than I am. Just watching the blue crawling away from it. No real shots coming out yet, so oddly enough, that is the action to watch on all of this. Does anybody notice the giant blob of Spaceman creeping up back behind Vietnam?
I like the idea of, like, if I don't look at them, they can't see me, right? Like, that's what's going on right now. Spaceman still waddling on backwards. This is ridiculous. Himas has no clue. He's basically shadow stepping at this point, shadow crawling. What a weird scenario, but good job, I guess.
Look, Himas is not known for being like the guy to watch flanks. His job is to shoot the things in front of him, and the things in front of him right now are Ukraine. And Spaceman's got to love it. Vietnam, they know that they want these big points. They don't want one, they want squad wipes. That's what they're hunting for right now, and a weakened Ukraine is definitely something they're going to want to pounce on.
I mean, if he gets second place with no kills, and then the tiebreaker is placement points, there's a world where he could get third, but I don't think it's going to occur at all. But Hakatori now sends some nades forwards. That's a massive nade in terms of doing the damage to everybody on Vietnam. They're going to be scrambling. They do take down Boomstick, but now Hakatori and Ferris, what can they do against this? Knowing that flanking around could quite easily be an issue as that Molly goes forward. A seat swap. He heard them. Oh, no, Spaceman, you're gone, friend.
Oh, those nades from Ukraine forced Vietnam to retreat. That kills off Spaceman. Thailand's making the push into the compound that USA's been trying to hold down. Kickstart dancing around the outside of it. Has to be careful because Vietnam's got a line onto it. Ukraine still very focused onto Vietnam, but Vietnam's got goals, and it's a run right into USA's face. Kickstart's gonna go down, and it feels like Vietnam is coming alive.
Solozzi takes the roof as well, trying to find exactly where they can find some pressure points against all of this, but Scappy also down. Suddenly, somehow, Vietnam tries to make things work here in this final game. There was shotguns in the hands of USA, knowing that they might need those against the breach. MG3 in hand here for Kiss, goes into the building. He might have to clear out the rest of USA here from this position. Oh!
Ooh, gets scary. Vietnam's got so much control over the top, but we still have Hamas off to the side, keeping an eye on Ukraine. Ukraine stacked up those kills with 11 right now, but that puts them on 86. Vietnam's only got 2, but at 83 points. USA also just trying to get as many points as they can away from, trying to separate away from Thailand, who's just right on their doorstep. It's got right in the mix of it all, and it is Thailand that manages to take down Ukraine, but it is a mess. It is a 1v1v2 as Thailand comes around on the outside.
What am I watching? This is absolutely popping off. Vietnam might be able to close it out though, and yes they do! As they get the win, moving up into 7th place in the end. A very important victory for Vietnam, but really the tale is what would be the boyhood dream here, Matrim, for Brazil.
It is time. Your PNC 2026 champions, Brazil! So much heart comes out from these guys. So hard they had to fight, and they deserve it. Look at this, donning the jackets, coming out, and all the squads coming so close. I'm gonna be terrified to see Korea's side of this when we actually do, because it is going to be heartbreak for them, Gibson and Mark.
Oh man, parabéns Brazil, vai Brazil, they get it done, and look, I don't think anybody can disagree, they deserve it. They were in first place after the end of the second map, and they'd remained there all the way through PNC. Well deserved, well earned, a massive victory for Brazil, and I suppose a big victory for the West as well, because PNC had been dominated by teams from Asia for the last few years.
It's a nation rooted in absolute excellence when it comes to competition, and Brazil has been able to do it from word one of this tournament. They have become the champions. You can see exactly what it means to them. Let's check in down on the stage.
Brazil. More emotional than ever, I'm sure. I see tears in all of your eyes. Sparking. Are you ready for an interview? Should I give you a minute? Okay, have a minute. I'll talk to Kraken first. All right, Kraken. It honestly is a more than words can describe moment, right? You were here in 24, you're back again 26, and here you lift the trophy. How are you feeling right now?
I just want to say thank you, God. Só quero agradecer a Deus que a gente conseguiu isso aqui, foi graças a Ele. Eu sou a pessoa mais feliz do mundo e hoje é o dia mais feliz da minha vida. Obrigado por todo mundo estar aqui. Eu não tenho que falar, velho. Obrigado.
If we could give one of the translators a microphone. 잠시만요. 제가 브라질 크라켄 선수에게 24년을 출전하고 올해 다시 출전하게 되면서 아쉬웠던 마음 많이 하는 지금 우승 소감을 여쭤봤습니다. 답변해 주시죠.
일단은 너무 기쁘고 표현할 수 없이 너무 기쁩니다. 일단은 하나님한테 너무 감사하고 이런